Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, JRC Restoration, Decor and Designs, and my name is Phyllis. If this is your first time visiting my channel, I want to thank you for stopping by and ask that you please consider subscribing. If you like what you see here today, give it a thumbs up. I would love to read your comments, and don't forget to share this video with your friends and family. And for my faithful subscribers, thank you so much for your faithful viewing support. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you in this video a few DIYs that I either created, gave a refresh or makeover in a room that I redid for my dad in his home back in July and August, and we are in the year of 2025. That video of the entire room makeover will be uploaded separately, but here I will share all the DIYs that I created for this room. So if you'd like to see how all this came together on a very low budget, then just keep watching, and I want to thank you all for stopping by. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how I just take this chair and just give it a refresh. I'm going to clean the seat and the back and then spray paint it gold so it can match the gold accent pieces that's in the bedroom that this chair sits in. It's also going to be taken off this wall and put on the wall behind the door. So I'm taking this chair, I've already washed it or cleaned the silver part of it. I'm going to see if I can scrub the stains out of this. And I'm going to spray paint the aluminum part, silver part, gold, so it can just match everything in the room. My brother has to drill a hole in here so that we can kind of screw this to keep it from cutting, because I've cut myself several times already on this here. So when my brother gets home, my dad doesn't have the bit, but my brother has a drill bit that can drill through his metal to get the hole through here. And then my dad does have this screw for metal that can keep this clamped to this. But until then, I've already cleaned the chair as best as I could, and I'm going to spray paint it. So this is going to be a makeover of an old chair. So let me see if I can get this out. My dad doesn't have any carpet cleaner, but I'm going to see. They got the good old Dawn dishwashing liquid. I'm going to scissor that, get the brush and scrub it and see what happens. So I put some Dawn dishwashing liquid. I'm going to use this brush and see. I got hot water running. Let's see if this will help. Let me see, there's a stubborn stain right here. I'm concentrating on these little brown spots that I see. So is this sound considered as an ASMR? Autonomous sensory meridian response? I don't know. Okay, so it's washed. I even did the top there. I could do around there a little more, a little better. I think that's what I'll do, because I didn't concentrate on that as much as I did this. Okay, that did make a difference. That did make a difference. Just a close-up shot of it. Did get as much of it out as I could. So now I'm going to go ahead and tape up, cover up the cushion part of the chairs, the seat and the back part of it, and then take it outside and spray paint it gold, give it several coats of spray paint, and then I'm going to seal it and bring it back into the room and show you what it looks like hang up on the wall behind the door. I also spray paint the hooks that they're going to be hanging on as well. Okay, it took me about 45 minutes to an hour to tape this off. Try to get it as perfect as I possibly can as far as this taping situation, so that there are no rough edges like this here piece of brown tape. that'll leave is covering up, and that stuff like that just aggravates me. I'm not a perfect person, but I like things as perfect as possible, or very close to it. So let's get to spraying. Alrighty, and again I'm using this paint and primer by Rust-Oleum Metallic Gold. I got another can. This one is almost empty. And you see how this is? That's going to show, you know, it's not a straight line. It's going to show the shape of how the tape is on there, but I'll just deal with it. It's going to look a whole lot better than it did. That's for doggone sure. First coat, and again we're going to repair this by screwing it back into the metal when we get my brother to drill the hole through that. And then what I'm going to do is turn it upside down so that I'm not worried about the underside, but I want to spray whatever I couldn't really get in on the inside and like on the other side of this. Let me see if I can go on the other side, show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so see, like that silver, it's hard to get there, so I'm going to turn it upside down so I can get under there. And that's going to look so good when I take that tape off. It's going to look so good. Another DIY. So here it is all complete. So you see what I'm talking about? The way I had it taped, the parts that were not covered, it just leaves an unfinished, uneven edge. Well, I am going to take the bronzing paint that I have in the bottle and a sponge brush to kind of touch up. It'll get on some of the fabric, but it won't be that big of a deal because you can barely see it, but at least the gray parts won't be showing. Here it is all touched up. You can see the paint on the fabric. Right here, you can see the paint. Again, it's that bronzing paint out of the bottle. This spray paint is gold, but the paint in the bottle, it was supposed to be in a gold when I ordered it, but when it came in from Amazon, it was brown, bronze, whatever you want to call it. So I ended up, you can tell the seat, I went over it with the brown. So some parts of the chair is gold, like around here you can see the gold, and this here I didn't think it was going to bother me, but it did. So I ended up just painting the underside of that using the paint that's in the bottle because I ran out of spray paint. And I'm just showing that it's behind the door. That's where it's going to be because the room is so small. It's not going to be up under the desk. And here it is. I painted it with that paint in the bottle, and I like the way it turned out. So you'll see what it looks like when I stage it during the bedroom reveal. Coming up next is the wall-mounted desk that I give a makeover to using the peel and stick marble contact paper. But this marble contact paper is the same as I get from Walmart. It is the Duck brand. However, the veining is in it is gold and bronze. It's actually the paper that's on this table here up against the wall. The chair stays hung on the wall until I'm ready to use it sitting at the desk. The room is so small, so this is a way to store the chair out of the way until I need it. This is a desk. Got a bunch of tools and stuff in it right now. But this is a desk that the chair is going to go under. But I'm going to take all the silver pieces off, the knob off, spray paint it gold, and just give this a fresh coat of white paint because I was going to, and I still might. You all know I love my marble contact paper. And the reason why I'm stating that, because this table here, this is real marble on here. This is for real. And I think my dad found this on the side of the road or something years ago. But I might cover the front of this with marble contact paper, and then just trim just the sides and the top with contact paper. I will actually be covering this entire desk with peel and stick marble contact paper. It is the Duck brand from Walmart. However, it is not my usual gray veining. This actually has bronze and gold veining in it, and I actually love this one, so I'll be starting to get this one too. And it actually matches the bronze and brown colors and leaves that's in this wallpaper that I put in this bedroom. I'm giving this bedroom a makeover with a vintage vibe, and you see here I have it taped off. It's not because I painted the desk, but it's because I painted the wall. And here you see I have covered the sides and the top as well as the drawer and spray painted the hardware. Well, I also again decided just to cover the front, and then also with covering just the face front and the drawer, I'll be adding cutouts from leftover wallpaper to kind of just blend in with everything. And you'll see what I'm talking about here in a minute. But I like the way you kind of see, you saw a sneak peek of the wallpaper there. I'll be cutting out leftovers of the flowers and just kind of sporadically spreading them out on the desk. And I love how this turned out. And here it is, all covered with the cutout pieces from leftover pieces after I got through covering the entire wall. And you can see on top of there, there's a little clock. The decor pieces that's in this room, they were decor pieces that was in my dad's house somewhere. I just basically shopped the house. If anything, the biggest purchase was the wallpaper. I had to end up buying 4 rolls, I believe. If you're interested in this, this paper, I got it from Amazon. I'll put the link in the description box below. And coming up next is a green cabinet that I will be covering up with this marble contact paper and then painting all of the trim with the gold paint that was in the bottle. So here's the next furniture piece, this cabinet that's in this room. The green color is really pretty. My sister loved it. When I told her I was going to paint it, she was going to say, "Oh no, don't paint it. It looks good." I said, well, I have the vision. And my initial vision was to paint it white, spray paint the hardware gold, including the hinges, and just cover the top with the contact paper. Well, I was just over the painting, especially after painting this entire room, except the wall that's with wallpaper. And then I painted the ceiling as well white because this room was initially pink, and it was pink for like over 20 years. Well, I ended up just covering the whole thing with this contact paper that I also put on the desk. So this contact paper was used throughout the room on different pieces of furniture. I even put it on the desk, the brown desk that I showed you that my dad found. I'm showing you here that I'll be painting all the trim moldings that's sticking out with gold paint. So what I do is I first cover all the insert pieces with the contact paper, and then I tape all that off with blue tape, and then just paint all of the pieces that stick out, again the molding, the trim pieces, with the gold paint that's in the bottle. And it turned out so pretty, and when she saw it, she was like, "Oh, I love the green, but I really love this." And I did too, especially when I added some wood appliques on the drawer and the doors to give it that vintage vibe. I purchased these wood appliques from Amazon. I bought a pack of 2, and each pack came 4. And I put 4 on the mirror that's above this cabinet. And I was initially going to put the 4 in these 2 openings that's on each side. And when I showed it to my dad, he suggested putting them on the door. So I put 1 on each door, and then I put 1 on each side of the knob that's on the drawer. I kind of wished I hadn't put them on the drawer. I mean, they look good, but I should have put them on the inserts that's on each side. I can always buy some more and do it. So here you see I've already covered it with contact paper. Now this is more time consuming than the painting, but I was just over the painting, the cleanup and everything. It's like I'd rather just sit down and take the time. I was watching TV as I was doing this and just covering it. And then here is the paint that I used to paint all the trim. I'm going to again put blue tape around the sections that's covered with the contact paper so that I can just freely paint the trim that's sticking out. And again, this took some time. This took about a couple of hours to do, which I didn't mind. And I did it all in one night because it was in the evening that I did this. And I was full of energy, and mostly I was excited to see what this was going to look like. And I didn't have a brush at the time, so what I was using was an old rag. I think the rag that I used on the TV when I did the TV trim to give it a picture frame look, I used that same rag because I just didn't have the paintbrush. The paintbrushes that I did have were the paintbrushes that you paint the wood and walls with, and I just didn't want the strokes on there, so I used the rag, and that worked. And then later on, I would say a couple of days later, I was in the store and I just bought some brushes. But here I'm just showing you, I think I was showing that wall. I forget why I was showing the wall because I'm doing a voiceover now. But it doesn't matter now. Let's just stick with the cabinet. So here you see I've taped it off in blue. And I'm not going to be sharing everything. I don't think I need to explain what you can visually see. I don't like talking through an entire video, especially if it's just something that I can see. But if it's something that needs to be explained, then I'll do it. So I'll just let you continue to watch. And I'm going to do this without music because I'm still getting even videos that I did 3 and 4 years ago. I am now getting notifications that there's a copyright. It's not a copyright to take my video down, but that the music is copywritten and that I could not use it. So this video is going to be with talking and silence. And then a little, you heard the little ASMR for the chair. But if you all have stuck with me this long, thank you. I appreciate you so much. And for those that are new to my channel, I can say this. I do appreciate you. I can see you all there. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And my channel is JRC Restoration, Decor, and Designs. And my name is Phyllis, and I love doing DIYs. My channel is mainly about DIYs. I do home decors, decorate with me's, Goodwill and thrift hauls, and a little more. And I did a few lives, not too many, but I did a few lives. But I just love DIYs mainly. And again, I want to thank you all for your support. If you are considering subscribing, check out my other videos as well to make a determination if you'd like to be a permanent fixture on this channel. And for my faithful subscribers and viewers, thank you so much for your faithful viewing support. Now, what I'm pointing out here, I have already done it gold, and here it is all finished. It is so pretty. I am going to be showing you also a video clip of the appliques on the door and the drawer, but I absolutely love this new look. I love this look above the green. It just gives it a, I guess I would say a semi-high-end look. And it does give it adding the appliques does give it a vintage twist, especially sitting under the mirror, which I will be showing you all next. That is above this. Here it is with the appliques, and I just love it. And all I did was glue the appliques on there. I painted them with this same paint with the rag, and I just love it. And the lamp that is sitting on top of this is a thrifted lamp that I got for $5.99, and very, very heavy crystal. And the shade that is on it, it was going to come home with me, but my dad liked it, and I thought it was too small for the lamp, but he loves it, so I just left it, and that just saved me money from buying another lamp. But I love the way this turned out, and if you liked this too, give it a thumbs up. Coming up next is the mirror that has been hanging behind a dresser up against the wall in this room, which I think used to be a mirror that was in the bathroom because of the way it is mounted. And I take that mirror and give it a makeover, giving it a vintage vibe using wooden appliques that I painted gold, purchased from Amazon. I will leave the link to these appliques in my description box below. So let's get on with the next DIY, the makeover of a mirror. So here's a Pinterest inspiration of what I took to kind of recreate my own vintage mirror using a mirror that was already in this room. And you can see it's a Kelly Clarkson Home Hesse metal mirror, and you saw the price there. This is very ornate and I like it. I didn't want it that ornate in this room. So this is the mirror, and it's been on this wall for years. You see the color of the wall, that pink? It's been like that for over 20 something years. My sister painted this with her at that time boyfriend. And it's been like this since, and I was so glad to get rid of this pink. But we're going to put it on the other side of the window. Now here I have my brother hanging it, and you're going to hear the tenseness and frustration in my voice because when he starts to drill in, he hits the mirror like 2 or 3 times. It's like, Stevie, please just use the ratchet screwdriver to push that in, because that's the only mirror we got. I don't have money to go and buy one, and since we already have this and I've already bought the appliques, I want to use this mirror. He hits 3 times and I'm thinking, you're gonna break it, and after a while he listened to me and said, okay, go ahead and get it. My brother is strong-willed, and all of us has a stubborn streak, but he has this stubborn streak that just kind of like gets to me sometimes. But he is very, very helpful, and I so appreciate him helping me out with this. He has the I am so glad he didn't crack or break this mirror. But isn't this so pretty with the appliques? Again, now this applique set came in one pack. All 5 of these pieces, the 4 corners and that top. So what I ended up doing was buying the 2 packs that I shared with you, where the 4 of them went on the cabinet. I used the other 4 on this mirror, 2 on each side here. I'll be sharing that here in a minute. But it came out so beautiful, and I love it. So I bought some more wood appliques, and I got these to go on the side of the mirror. And it came in a total of 8. Here's the barcode if you're interested. There it is. Trying to get it to focus. And I spray painted them gold. Put them on the side. Let me see if I can blow this up. Yeah. Okay. Bigger. Yep, you can see them. So those are the ones that's on the side. I was thinking about putting some at the bottom. I might order maybe another big one to put at the bottom. I don't know. Just wanted to show you all that. The gold, the appliques, wood appliques that I spray painted gold. I first did it with a coat of black, because when you spray paint the gold straight on the wood, that wood just drinks it up till it doesn't it just has to do too much. So I just put the black first, and then I did the gold, and I like the way it turned out. And here's a picture clip of the cabinet and the mirror together. Coming up next, I will share with you how to give the less expensive way to give your TV that framed TV look. And I'll be using paint to do this, and these wood appliques that I put on the mirror, except they're a different size. I will share other ways too that you can recreate this look on a very, very low budget. So here we go. So I'm going to give this TV a quick makeover by creating a framed TV look. I'm going to actually paint the frame of the TV, and then put wood corner appliques on the corner. I saw this trick done by Carrie Lynn about a year or 2 ago, when her and her husband were doing a living room makeover. I think when she was building bookshelves on each side, and then I saw her paint the trim, the black trim of the TV. I did this to my bedroom TV when I saw it, and I thought to do the same thing, because this wall is basically a gallery wall. I took pictures that was already in this room. You see the pink vase on there. That pink vase on there is going to be turned into gold, and then that pink picture that I'm hiding right now, that's going to change as well. But all I'm using is this same paint that's in the bottle, and I covered off with the blue tape so I wouldn't touch the TV screen, and I'm not touching the sensor. You'll see where I'll take my fingernail later down in the video, scratching off just a little paint, but it doesn't bother the sensor. And this is a cheap way and a very inexpensive way. The bottle of paint was under $1. I ordered it from Amazon. You can do this and then buy wood appliques, and boom, there you go. If you don't want to cut out wood. I just love the look of TV, or framed TVs. I just cannot afford it. I actually did a few TVs in my home. The first one I did was in my bedroom, where I took an existing picture frame and cut it, downsize it to fit my TV so I wouldn't have to worry about mitering the corners. And then one in my office where I took the Walmart mirror frames, the glass had broke, or the mirror had broke, and I took those frames and I used that around my TV with some appliques. I'll leave both videos in my description box below so that you can see how I did that. But here is the completion of the painting of the television, and it looks so good. Again, I did this with a rag. So look how, I mean, it's smooth with the rag. There's no bumps or anything. And here I'm scratching off the paint that got onto the sensor. But again, it did not affect the sensor in any way at all. So again, this is the least expensive way that I can think that you can make your TV look like it's framed, just by simply painting it and just leaving it at that. Again, I saw this when I saw Carrie Lynn do this maybe about a year or two ago. But I took it up a notch and I got some frames. I mean, not frames, but these appliques right here from Amazon. They're a little smaller than the ones that's on the mirror. The gold was too brass. I used the paint, the spray paint. So what I did was just use the paint in the bottle. And here you can see I've done it. I've taken the rag and I just dabbed it on there. And I love the two-tone look that it gives. It's that bronze that kind of still peeks through or just kind of covers up the gold, but kind of just knocks the gold down a little bit of not being so brass, and it gives that two-tone effect. And here it is on the TV on all four corners. Again, this is a very inexpensive way to give your TV that look. And the thing is, the wood does not have to be permanent on there. I fixed them on there with the nano tape where it can come off. And then if you don't have paint, you can also use washi tape. But I love the way it came out. So to kind of give it even a full effect, I went on YouTube and I put in framed TV art, and this one is already framed. So I just wanted to see what it looked like with the TV trim painted as a frame, and I love that. I also went and found another one. It's a more brassier, golder look, but I still like the look because it makes the frame look fuller than what it is. And I'm talking about the TV frame that I painted. So again, this is a good way to give your TV, elevate your TV a look without spending a lot of money from the frame TV. And speaking of frames, I am going to change 4 existing wall arts that has been in this room, and all of them have a splash of pink. If you remember watching in the very first video when I was doing I believe it was the green cabinet, I showed a clip of where I was painting the pink walls and ceiling back, to white. All of the art had some form of pink in it. Well, I am removing all of the pink, or as much of the pink as I can, out of this room. And I am not changing the art, so to speak, but I'm going to work with what I have. I will just change the look of the existing art. And then 2 of the frames, I will put a Thomas Kincaid art piece in there because his art is kind of like vintage. I'm going with the vintage vibe in this room. So if you'd like to see how I make these 4 existing wall arts flow with everything else that I have going on, continue to please watch. I am almost done because after the gallery wall art, which is what I am creating around this TV, is completed, the last video clip that I'll be sharing are 3 Amazon inspired lighting fixtures. And again, the room makeover video itself will be a separate video that I will upload later. I want to thank you all so much for your patience. So let's continue on and complete this DIY video. Here we go. This frame used to be black. I painted it gold. I will be painting that vase with gold paint. And then the frame, empty frame above, I will be putting a Thomas Kincaid wall art in there from a thrifted book and trimming it with blue painter's tape, painted gold, giving it a matte look. This empty frame, or this frame below, silver will be painted gold, and the pink will be covered up with the Thomas Kincaid wall art. And I'm getting ready to show you what I am doing to this big picture on the side. So let's get started with the changing of these wall art. So I am taking this existing picture that was in that frame, and I thought I was going to take it out and replace it with something, but I'm going to use it, and to cover up the pink, I'm just cutting out pieces out of this here. Like I've cut out leaves already, like this here. And I'm pinning it on top of the flowers. So basically, I just take my time. I'm going to pull this up so you can see. So under this leaf is this flower. And there's no pink in this room, so I'm just cutting it and connecting it with the stem so it can look like it's part of it. So this is 2 leaves. I still got some red in there that I got to cover, so I'll do a little leaf there, and then maybe this what do you call this thing here? It's a, I always forget, the hydrangea. That's it, this hydrangea. I'll probably cut this out and cover this up, and maybe this up. And then for this down here, I ordered some gold paint in a bottle. I might just get a brush or tissue and just dab this, you know, dab this here with the gold to cover that up. And I think I'll leave the purple because it's in the family of the blue. And of course everything else will stay like this here, green and that. But that's how I'm using this existing picture. Plus I'm getting some gold paint too that I can kind of paint this mauve. I'll probably just leave this here because it's light. It's not too pale of a mauve. And I don't want to cover up this beautiful detail. If this was embossed, I would, but I don't want to cover it up. So to use this existing art, I'm just cutting out the leaves out of this wallpaper and the hydrangeas and whatever else I can use out of here to just update this so that it can match the wallpaper. And this is going to be part of a gallery wall that I put over here. This TV, I'm going to frame it out with just the appliques like I have on the mirror, just the corners, and then I'll paint just the black trim gold, and it'll look like a picture when I mount it in the middle of this wall. And then around it I'm just going to put pictures. I have this frame, I'm going to take that out. I have that mirror back there that's going to go above the desk. I have these frames here, spray painting it gold. And I'm just trying to use things that I can find around the house here without having to spend money, because honestly, don't have the money. So I thought I'd just share with you, this is how we update it using wallpaper. So I thought I'd show this before I finished it. This is cardboard. And this picture is fixed to this. It's just part of it. And I want to not find art to cover this, but figure out how I can make it match everything. I started with just some tissue, paper towel, and the bottle of the paint I've been using, and it works. I tested it out. So now what you see here is the strips of tape covering over the flowers, the floral prints. So I can just feel free to just start dabbing. At least want this big piece of pink to be covered and turned into like a gray vase. I wanted to show you all another way I am just updating an existing piece of art. Just stippling the gold on here to turn this vase from pink to gold. Okay, here's the first coat. You still kind of see from the camera some of the blush. With the naked eye, you really can't. So I think this might actually pass. I'm gonna wait till it dries to see what it looks like when it's dry. I'm gonna let this dry, then put another coat on it and pull the tape off and let you see it. Okay, this is the second coat put on, and I like that texture, what, you know, some of the pieces of the tissue coming off of it. So I'm going to peel this off, I think while it's wet, to see what it looks like. Okay, so it did really good in here. So I was going to try to tape off the little white flowers and stem and then just paint the pink, but I X'd that out and then just cut another leaf from the remnants of the peel and stick wallpaper that I had and just covered that up. It's easier just to cover that up and I made it look like it was part of the flowers. I also did some stems at the top. You'll see that later on when I show you the entire thing. You can see more of the gold. The vase is gold, but up close I still want to touch those up, so it turned out pretty good. And you can see that the frame, I started painting that with that same gold. So I'm going to go over several coats of it, and I'm going to see if my dad will let me paint around that clock. If not, we'll just leave as is. Okay, so I'm done with this. I'm going to leave that pink up there, and I'm sorry for the TV noise in the background. Let me shut the door. Hold on. Okay, so you see I've added some leaves. I even added some branches to stem up to that rose. I left that pink up there, and I used leaves to kind of cover that pink there. I see a little bit pink down there, but this is okay the way it is, so it blends better. So I'm done with that, and I just working on, I put a second coat onto this art frame and getting ready to put it on the wall. The blank frame that I had up there that just had the backdrop, I got the frame here because I took out, and this is what was in it. Well, what I decided to do was take one of the pictures out of my Kincaid book that I got from the thrift store. I put it here, and I just created its own mat using blue tape. This is what you call truly thinking out of the box. Taped the photo right in the middle, not the photo, but the picture out of the book right in the center of, on the back of this board, which is the backing for that frame for any picture that would have gone with it. I put that in the center, and then I created my own mat using blue painter's tape. And then around the mat that I'm creating from blue painter's tape, so that I can do a nice edge, just as straight as possible, the straight edge, to create my own mat. There's some touch-up that I am going to have to do with the black marker to make it straight, but once you put it behind the glass, it'll pass. And this was an unplanned room makeover, to tell you the truth. And right now I wanted a mat, because this picture is so small for that big frame. I needed to take up that extra space with a mat, and I'm doing it with this tape. I guess I could have went to the Dollar Tree and got a poster board and cut it out. I might do that later, but I think I'm just appreciating the creative things that's come into my mind, and I'm going to leave it as is. I can spend $1.75 to go get a poster board, but I'm choosing not to, because I like the idea that came in my mind to do this. So here I'm just straightening out the rough edges with the black marker. Then I'll pull the tape off, put it in the frame, put the glass back on and hang it on the wall, and you'll see how it looked. And here it is, the gallery wall. Of course, the clock that my dad said it was okay for me to paint gold. And then the TV, again, giving it a picture frame look without having to do any miter corners to wood. Just painted the frame of the TV itself. And then wood appliques purchased from Amazon that I painted gold and just stuck it with two-sided tape on the corners of the TV frame. And there is the picture. The mat, again, is painter's tape that I painted gold. And I like the way it all turned out. This here is a lamp, push torch lamp is what I'm calling it, as well as this little lamp on that shelf. I'll be showing how I created that. So I love the way this gallery wall turned out. Now stick with me, we're almost done. The only thing left now is to show you how I created the different lightings in this bedroom, vintage bedroom makeover. My dad had a traditional ceiling fan up there that had these. And so, of course, this is the one that I used to create that torch lamp. It's not a lamp. I guess you can call it a mini torch lamp. Yes. And then, of course, I used the two to make the nightside table lamps in the bedroom. And I love the marble effect that these have. And if you notice on the one that I'm doing, I trimmed the edge with that same paint, and then the color of that that brown color that I put over the cabinet drawer liner. My brother had gotten that by mistake when I asked him to get the peel and stick contact paper, and we never returned it, so I'm glad he kept it. I was able to use it to cover that tube. Since I saw this veining in it, I said, okay, I can just cover it, not knowing it was going to give that effect, to give that look. So this is the tube, and something came in it that I ordered, and I forget what it is. And that bronze piece is the tuna fish can, and of course the glow piece that I just showed you that used to be on my dad's ceiling fan, and inside is a push light. So coming up next is the kitchen drawer liner. Again, this is it. And then I use that paint to cover this. And the way I attached it to the tube was glued, and here it is. I had already done the tube, so I'm just showing you what I used, and here it is all finished. I really like the way this came out. This camera is not doing it justice. I love the muted veining look of it because it matches the veining in the globe. And again, it's the push light. So I call this a mini torch lamp. And it is just extra mood lighting or task lighting when I don't want the big ceiling fan light to be turned on. I love the way this turned out. Now this DIY lamp coming up, I copied something similar from Amazon. It's called the cordless table lamp. It's just the extension of the curtain rod, again, sitting on tuna fish can, and a push light. I will put a picture of what I copied, again, that I saw on Amazon. And it's just another mood lighting, task lighting, if that's what you want to call it. And here coming up, I am going to share with you how I put the two bedside night lights together. I'm showing you the curtain rods. When I did my dad's dining room a couple of years ago, I ordered 3 of these curtain rods. One we didn't use, and here it is. This is actually a total of 2. This insert that I just pulled out, that is what I used to make that light that I just shared with you that looks like Amazon. The outer piece is what I used to make the table night lamps for the bedroom. And then here are the globes that I used as the shades. And again, the tuna fish can. My dad had this idea to use the tuna fish can, and it was a brilliant idea because I was trying to think, what can I use to be bigger than the round piece that's at the bottom of this curtain rod? After I spray painted it all gold and put it together using some glue that I'm going to share with you. Awesome glue. My dad got 3 tubes from Amazon. E6000 is no longer going to be of any use to me anymore because it dries up in the tube too fast. But here I'm just doing a dry fitting, putting it together, showing my dad what it will look like after it's completed. I'm using that light for right now. I've already ordered 2 push lights that's supposed to be coming in the mail today with remote control, which is better because it's going to be on the bedside. So here it is. I've already spray painted everything gold. Here is that glue, this glue, and I love that it's oily glue because it gives you a few seconds to kind of adjust things, but it dries in at least, I'm going to say 30 seconds, 30 to 45 seconds. And I love it. So here I just have to twist this end on, but at the end is where you would put the extension tube in. That's what I used to make that task lighting. I didn't do that because this ended up fitting in it perfectly, snug. And then I just take the glue that I'm going to show you, and I sat the lamp part on top of here, showing you where it fits perfectly. That's where I'm going to put the glue, where I just pointed out, and on the inside to make sure it stays. And then after that, I'm going to put the glass shade, is what I'm calling it, on top, and the glue is just going to go around the edge of the top of the DIY lamp. And then the push light, again, is just going to sit on top because, again, I ordered 2 more because the 2 that I'm using in this video, they don't match. They're touch push lights that my brother had, but I want them to be just alike. So what I did is I ordered remote control USB rechargeable puck lights. And I now like USB rechargeables because I don't have to deal with buying batteries all the time. I can just take the USB charger and just plug it up and charge them. So I love it. So here I'm just holding it just for a few seconds. Now, a quick disclaimer. The fumes from the glue does cause the top of the glass to become hazy, but it doesn't affect the illumination of the light. And here, I'm going to show you where I put the glue. Put it right on the inside of the gold part, not the glass. I mean, it ends up on the glass too, but so it can sit. I've already put it on there, but now I'm adjusting it and leveling it to make sure that it sits straight. I like the way these came out. They are so cute on the night side. I call them night side tables, but they're actually shelves that my brother had. One is bigger than the other, and to make them look alike, I just covered them with contact paper. And here it is all done. I'm just, like I said, I'm just leveling it. I didn't have a leveler to put on there, so I'm just kind of doing it with my eye. If you subscribe to my channel and you watched my 2025 summer kitchen makeover, you would have seen where I created my own lights, something like this with a vase, a glass vase that I thrifted from thrift store. I'll put a clip of it here right now for you to see, but I loved how it turned out as well as these. And here's the completed look. And here they are, all done. Here is my inspiration from Pinterest. If you all been with me for a while, I just created my own glass globe or lamp using a vase. I'll leave that video in the description box below, which is in my kitchen. And it turned out so nice, and I love the way these turned out. Again, I'm going to change the lights that's sitting on top because they're different and I want them to be the same. So they kind of resemble this one because of the shape, the round shape of them. I want it to be the same roundness as this bottom part of the lamp, and I just love the way they turned out. They give off the perfect lighting for at night when I don't want the ceiling fan light on. So I have these two lights on, and then the little two task lights that I shared with you. So we've made it to the end. That concludes all of the 7 DIYs that I've created for this room, actually unplanned vintage room makeover. That is the chair got a refresh and makeover. The desk got an update, as well as the cabinet. The mirror that was sitting behind the dresser gave it a vintage makeover, as well as the TV, giving it that faux TV frame look. The gallery wall created using existing pictures, just giving them a refresh. And then lastly, my 3 Amazon inspired lighting. If you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. I would love to read your comments. Let me know which DIY was your favorite. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And for my faithful viewers and subscribers, thank you so much for your faithful viewing support. And I want to thank you all for stopping by. Thank you so much for watching JRC Restoration, Decor, and Designs. And remember, the distance between your dreams and reality is called action. So until next time, make it a blessed and productive day, everyone. Bye-bye.